Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on my journey into the constraints-led approach and ecological dynamics for grappling. Really appreciate you all along. I've had some big names in this field actually watch this channel and even replying to some of my videos, so I really appreciate you if you are watching. Combat Learning, for example, and a couple of other guys that have asked me questions. Just want to say up front, I will be doing an interview with Professor Ian Renshaw and one of his doctorate students. Professor Ian Renshaw is one of the authors of the constraints-led approach. This is a great book. I mean, I'm sort of shilling for him there, but it was accessible enough while still being dense for university students, that sort of thing. Really keen to ask a few questions, so if you have any questions that you'd like me to ask, please shoot them into the comments below. I'd be definitely keen to ask them if that's the case. Combat Learning, I know, implements things in TKD, I believe, and the doctorate student Michael, he did the same. So he's implemented a CLA, framework within the TKD martial arts. So really looking forward to having a chat with them, and also I wanted to just give a shout out to Aaron. On Wednesdays, Aaron takes the class, and he took today's class. I've noticed that he is using more and more of the constraints-led approach, and today he really sort of outdid himself. He's really taken it on board, and I'm really happy with just seeing how he is now looking at things. Obviously, still there is kind of a almost I'm giving you the answer before the problem, but it's mostly when people are asking him questions. So what's happened today was, there was one of the games. So I'll give you a breakdown of the games that we did, and they're actually really good. So the first game, we're just looking to make connections. So I spoke to him about it afterwards, where trying to get like a core of the outcome. So for example, if you want someone to be able to hold on to your opponent, talking about getting your chest against them is only kind of part of the issue. In order to hold on to them, what is the core of that? Well, you need to be connected around them in order to hold on to them. So rather than sort of saying, I want wherever it is my chest on, the goal is, I want to be connected around. So but he's still working on the language, which is fine. I really like the fact that he is engaged, he is bought in, he can see that it's that it's working, and that it's got that it has a heap of merit. I couldn't think of the word right there, but he can see that it's got merit, and he knew all the time, but the method in which I do it. So he could see the pedagogy. I think this is good use of the terms. And I'll just quickly say that I'm starting to actively understand and appropriately apply academic language where it's necessary. And I want to come back to that because I was having a chat with my boss today about something. But he Aaron was speaking about one of his things where we're going to do an arm drag now, where your goal is to get your arm behind their elbow, and it's like you could just sort of see him going far out. That doesn't kind of compute, because that could be anything. And afterwards I just said to him, like, well, what's the goal of that entire thing of an arm drag? Well, the goal of an arm drag is to get behind the shoulder, right? Or actually get behind the arm. So if you can get your chest on the back top quadrants, then you have applied an arm drag to a degree. But what this allows is you to self-organize. So if I say to you, and this is how I kind of explain, if I say to you, I want the goal is to get your chest on the shoulder quadrants, doesn't matter where, I just need to get my chest on your shoulder quadrants. What that means is that people will self-organize around either snap down in order to get their chest on the top of the back, or arm drag to get around the back to then do that. Or if they fucking hit their knees and then come back up around the other side like some sort of a hardcore wrestler, that's also fine, alright? But what it does is the affordance is you start looking for things that are available to you. So, and in most cases, the arms are available to you, alright? So, I think, but the beauty of it was that his explanations have, and this sounds bad, but his explanations up front, and I really worked on this with him today, which is giving the solution after they felt the problem. So, speaking about the solutions that are available to them after the problem, right? After they've experienced the problem. And he did really well today in kind of allowing it to allowing the goals to be advised, the problem to be experienced, and then the chat after to be around what's required. He did quite well with that, and I'm fucking stoked with it. And then we dived into a game where initially the first game was just to get the person's head on your chest, or like a sitting rollover sweep, right? So here's where I would say your chest quadrant to the opposite chest quadrant with the arm over the back anyway, essentially. That's what I would say, but what you would do is you would show, this is what we need to do. We need to have our chest up on the shoulder quadrant up here, and our arm over the back touching the lower back quadrants, right? And then let them just try and work that out. Now, I thought this is actually a really, really good game because it gives two opportunities. So the opportunity number one is when you're pulling them down and they're just not quite there. As they pull up, you can go with it and then get your arm over and do be in the position for a sitting rollover sweep. Or alternatively, as you go up, they start pushing back, you pull them back, and you use their momentum to get their head to your chest. And then when you're in here, one thing that emerged from that, which was quite cool, was holding on with your arms away from you. you can't pull them in, but if you can get your chest to them and then just pull them back with your arm, with your body, it works. So that was really cool. And here's where I would have done it a tad differently, especially considering how much time we ate up. Not that this is a bad thing, all right. It was really good to see that the guys were, they were seeing openings, and I tried to sort of say, in all of this, we need to be realizing the openings that are there for other things as well. But the task at hand allows us to understand, if I'm going for this and this opportunity opens for another task goal, you can switch to that, but in that switch there might be something on the peripheral of that as well. And I think that this I know that this is providing that understanding and that perception, or the prior perception, proprioception, prior perception. Far out, I can never get that. Anyway, so back to the game from there. Aaron then did. The goal was to get an elbow to the ground from guard, and his reasoning, and I like that he had reasoning, was that that he wanted to show that that's extremely hard if that's the only weapon in your toolbox. So it was great reasoning, and it was true. The more that you focused on this, the more lockdown you could stop it, right? But what I would have done, only from the perspective of it would have just been, as I was saying before, you've got one sort of task goal, another task goal, and as you're going between them, you can sort of see something on the outer rim, and I would have just added it straight in, so that it's like, okay, we're going for these two task goals, but there is also this one here that we will that's available to us as well. And then that gives 3 task goals within that are all about breaking posture and taking away their ability to attack the guard, while giving more opportunity for us to attack the guard moving forward, take the back, go for arm bars, go for triangles, all that sort of thing. So this was a really good lesson, and I really appreciate that Aaron is, he's, really working towards what I'm working towards, and I'm really appreciative of that. Now, just as a quick thing, I was telling my day job boss about some of the stuff that I've been doing with this, and he said something quite interesting, that he was talking about how babies, they shake when they're going to grab something, when they're learning to grab something, and over time it becomes smoother and smoother. And that, I was like, that's called system degeneracy. And I was like, and that's what it is, and it's one of the best examples of it outside of sport. So it's like, you're getting more efficient because you're learning to switch certain things off that don't need to be employed in order to get it. And this is something I've felt with my my mount escapes, is that, ever since I've started this, my mount escapes have improved no end, because I've been working on destabilizing, but now my destabilizing doesn't even need to be that perceptive, that perceptive on their end, but they don't know that they're getting destabilized because I'm moving in such a way that's that has system degeneracy that's causing an increased degree of efficiency to my movement. Anyway, I'm going to stop trying to talk like I'm an academic. Hey. Appreciate you coming along for the ride. Sam Battlefields here. This is my journey into the ecological dynamics and constraints-led approach for grappling. See you soon. Oh! Peace.